Howdy folks, Rebecca Jolly here from Jolly Alchemy. Today we are moving into the cross of revolution on our transit, so exciting times ahead. So this is the transit for Friday the 15th of August 2025. We are smack into revolution now, so it's 4 and 49, line 5, practical changes. Here we go. So 4 line 5 is seduction, to harness ideas through seduction. And when Ra uses the word seduction, what he's meaning is not necessarily a sexual thing, but seductive, he means seductive in terms of being enticing, almost more like a playful kind of an energy. It can be seductive in, like when we're talking about the 59th gate here coming out of the sacral center, but it's not necessarily a sexual thing. And in this case, it's definitely not. It's about ideas, seductive ideas, that sort of thing. And 49.5 is reform, organization of necessary reforms. So we're in the 5th line. So all of our 5th lines are about leadership, generalizing, practicality, bringing the thing actually into its mature form. And so we here have the mature form of revolution in the 3rd quarter. So that's much more having to do with relationships and interpersonal relationships than it is necessarily it's on all kinds of a scale. Revolution is about when it's time to change something, making that change happen. So it could be big, it could be little, but it's definitely having to do with people. So to that end, our song for today is from Woody Guthrie, one of our real revolutionaries. Although I looked him up, he's not the cross of revolution, unfortunately. He's a great revolutionary, though. They have it in Wikipedia, a picture of him with his guitar with a sticker right on the front going, "This machine kills fascists." I was like, go Woody. So his song is, I guess, a new one that they're releasing. I mean, he's been dead a while, but like Personal Tapes, I think is something about at home. And this song really struck me from that collection. I'm a Child to Fight is the name of the song. About practical revolutions. It really is. So our moon energy gets clocked today at 24-2. 24, as I was struggling remembering yesterday, is that gate on the other side of the 61. And 24 is the part that's coming out of the mind, heading towards the inspiration center. And it's about rationalization. So thinking about things over and over again. Line 2, recognition. The potential for spontaneous conceptualization. So it's right in there. That's that little genius piece of it that we'll see in the 2nd line. And the moon will continue on through gate 2, which is coming here out of the G center. And that's our most receptive, most magnetic, and the gate of the driver. I haven't explained that concept, but it'll come. And definitely bringing in things to be manifested. So there's a lot of power in this ultimate receptivity that we will be traveling through in this 2nd gate. Then we will hit 23. So that's the bottom half of my explanation channel. That's pure explanation, but it's a freaky kind of explanation. So you could be seen as a genius or you could be seen as a freak. Believe it, I have been seen as both. Probably more freak than genius, but I'm working on that. And then gate 8. So that's also, that's coming out of the throat, I believe. Yeah, it is. Coming out of the throat towards the G center in that center channel line. And it's about creative contributions. So that's what the moon will be doing. Mercury is finally starting to move back up. Remember, I told you that it's gone down, down, down in the retrogrades, and now it's slowly going to start going back up again. So 31.3 has moved to 31.4, which we should recognize because we just had it before 31.3. And now we're back again. Motivation, leadership quality through motivation. And Venus is moved to It starts today in 53.3, but because I covered that yesterday, I'll give you that again just to remember. Pragmatism to avoid conflict in beginnings, and now that's going to be moving through 53.4, assuredness. The assuredness to maintain one's individuality in beginnings. So, that's a nice line. I think that might even be my line. I won't check that. You know I have a tendency to run off into details, and I won't do that now, but maybe I'll let you know later. I know I have 53, just not sure about the line. Our Mars is moving into 18.2. That's accepting, to recognize and accept the inevitable. And then so that's our people energies shifting there. We do have a shift on the global scene because, well, we just had our 39 for Jupiter shift to line 6, which was, to go over that again, the troubleshooter. Yeah. And 25 in Saturn, which is in retrograde, has finally retrograded from line 4, that healing one, down into line 3, which we had again because, of course, we had it before it went into retrograde, is sensibility, the power to withstand failure and shock. And I have to say, we probably do need some more of that on the global scene. I myself had a time right when this hit yesterday of feeling, I felt it in my body, of not so much feeling like a failure, but I had almost like a personal little meltdown. I was crying. I've been homeless before, and so I have, in some ways, even though I'm living in a home now, a feeling like there's a part of me that actually belongs on the street, or belongs more with homeless people than with the more acceptable people of society. Or I feel like there's only the grace of my partner standing between me and homelessness, because really I don't own this home, I don't own a car, I don't own anything. In real practical terms of society, I'm almost nothing. I don't have a job. I've, of course, been working my whole life, but nothing anybody cares about. Who gives a shit? Nobody values mothers, children. Certainly not my children value what I did. So it's a little bit of a feeling like, who am I? What have I done? Where's my true worth in this world? Am I really any more valuable or important to society than your average homeless person? These kinds of things. I was definitely having this feeling of shock and failure yesterday, right as this was hitting the global scale. So there we have that. You could certainly let me know if you felt any of that as well yesterday. And of course, we'll be having that for a while because that's in retrograde. So it's good because it's not just feeling failure and shock, it's the power to withstand it. That's important. At least it's important to me. Like, you may be failing, you may be shocked, but you're going to live through it. You're going to be okay. Here I am today, feeling actually better for it and still giving a transit report. So, yeah. I also wanted to give real quick, yesterday's dragged on, and I'm sorry about yesterday being so long. I really don't want to have these be forever kinds of recordings, and maybe that's why I'm talking so fast today. But I do want to give just a little bit more of information, and that is about the Chiron, which we hardly ever touch. It moves so slow, so a lot of times I don't think it's worth mentioning, but I thought I would remind us of what that Chiron is, because it's a feeling and a weakness that we will have as an entire planet right now, and so best to be reminded of it occasionally. That Chiron is 3, so that's the gate of mutation. A very powerful gate for change, but it's from the sacral center heading down towards the root, and it's about mutative changes. This is the first line, so it's the very basic the first exposure we have to this gate, and there is some insight into the nature of mutation in this line. It's the inability to know that order will emerge. I'm definitely feeling that. Like, are we always going to be in this upset, provocative time? Will order ever emerge out of this? It will. And the temptation after setbacks to seek knowledge elsewhere, to just kind of almost throwing out the baby with the bathwater kind of energy. Fuck it, it's never going to be okay. I've been trying this, but it doesn't seem like it's working. So that tension of growth right there. So I'm feeling it. Let me know if you are. The transit is not making internal connections today, so it's just the connections that it makes with our individual bodies. But I recommend, if you're not looking at that every day, go ahead and look it up. 64keys.com has a wonderful free version of the program that will give you a lot of free information, and on that opening page they show the transit every day, and all you have to do is as part of the sign up process, you put in your own information, and there's a button called Me Transit. You push that and it will show you how the transit affects your body personally. Interesting thing? Check it out. And you can see the energies that I'm talking about in the day, but you can also see, oh, for me, it connects here, and here, and gives me these things to think about personally. So it'll make the transits that I'm giving and that you seem to be watching, that's cool, more relevant to you and your personal growth process. All right, so, I did have some people that I looked up as nice examples of third quarter revolutionaries. So let me give you that list here. Madonna. Come on, man. She's totally a great example of a revolutionary. Robert De Niro, Ben Affleck, that thing that he did, what was that, Dogma, that movie? Very provocative, revolutionary for sure. David Koresh. I'm not sure if that's a great example, but it's revolutionary as hell. Napoleon, Julia Child. So, yeah, wonderful, wonderful revolutionary energy there. And, we have, revolution is a left angle, so there's only two versions of it in the, in the listings, but these have been very powerful people as opposed to, say, the formalization people who, you see, I was scraping sort of the bottom of the barrel, like famous people wise, to find these people, because they may have lots of ideas, but they're not actually getting them out into the world nearly as much as these revolution people are. That's kind of exactly what I was talking about with this cross. Once you get right here to the fifth line level, you're talking about people who actually are actively wanting to get those ideas out into the world. And of course, we have the underlying support having switched from 4323, the explaining part, into 8. Creative contributions coming out of the throat. That one's we're feeling in the transit today. And 14, which is coming from the sacral on that same central line towards the G center. And 14 is possessions in great measure. So that's all about a lot of resources to getting them, having them, finding out where they go, who in the community deserves them. So they're much more likely to be people who have, I think, financial success at whatever kind of revolution you see. And of course, a bunch of these people, very big money makers in our world. That's because of that underlying support of both the creative contributions and that possession in great manner. That's basically in the I Ching, the gate of money bags. So you see these people having been able to make a lot of money. So if you have that in your chart, if you are one of these revolutionary people, then you can know that having a good financial standing is possible for you. It's not necessary, but it's definitely possible if you are living your design anything like rightly for you. So, our song, Woody Guthrie's I'm a Child to Fight. And we've made our connections, done our thing. So I think I've managed to keep it a little bit shorter today. Oh, 15. Anyway, take care of yourselves. I'll see you for tomorrow's transit. Bye.